remember I was 23 years old. I was 1 year out of college, and I had been training for quite a few years prior, and I always took training really seriously. I was always very religious about training and my nutrition, and I never really went out. I didn't party a lot. I always took bodybuilding pretty seriously, and I had made quite a bit of progress. And at 23 years old, I had worked my way up to I think around 270 pounds or so. And at the time, I was working out at a local gym, and I became friends with this guy who obviously had himself competed. And I remember he came up to me one day and he said, have you ever competed? And I said, no, it's something I've thought about, and something I'd like to do one day. I'm not really sure how to go about it. I don't know a whole lot about it. And he said to me, I remember exactly, he said, well, looking at you, I think you probably know more about it than you think. And since then we became friends, and we started working out together. And I remember one day he said, you got to do a show. And I said, yeah, well, what show? I don't know anything about it. He said, in 10 weeks, there's an NPC show in New York called the Atlantic States. He goes, that's a great show. He goes, I think you do really well. He goes, I think you can win the show. And I didn't know anything about NPC or what any of the shows were, anything about it. But I remember I was 10 weeks out, and I said, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm curious to see what I would look like in show condition, because I had worked out for so many years with the goal of getting bigger, but had never gotten myself in really, really great condition. So I was really curious to see what I would look like. And this was gonna be something I was just gonna do one time, just for me, just for my own personal satisfaction. So I dieted really hard for those 10 weeks. I kicked ass in the gym. I went in, I did the show, and I ended up winning the heavyweights and the overall. And it was honestly one of the greatest memories I have to this day of all the shows I've competed in. That's still one of my fondest memories. Winning a show in New York City in front of friends, in front of family, and winning my first show on the first time out. And I was the thing I was most happy with was the way I looked. The sense of satisfaction that I had from that show was tremendous. And after that, I wasn't sure. I said, well, maybe I'll compete again. But I think I was just kidding myself, because after that one, I was hooked. My name's Evan Centopani, and I got my start in the NPC.